The economic freedom fighters leader Julius Malema is addressing the 67th anniversary commemoration of the Freedom Charter in Kliptown. We take you there live now.
Amandla, long live the fighting spirit of Chris Hani, long live. Long live the fighting spirit of Peter Mukaba, long live. Long live the fighting spirit of Winnie Mandela, long live. Long live the fighting spirit of Steve Biko, long live. Amandla. Thank you very much, our chairperson, national chair, our deputy president, our secretary general, our treasurer general and the deputy secretary general, the acting chairperson of Gauteng and the secretary and the entire leadership of the PCT and deployees, all commissars who are here from the regional leadership and all our ground forces. Today, it's very cold. So these old women and men must be released as soon as possible. Or lebona bayeba kuchi. Ritlimo today, ritlo keteka, one of the significant occasions that occurred here in 1955. It was here in Kliptown where thousands of our people gathered in their numbers. Everyone in South Africa was here in 1955. You can talk traditional leaders, you can talk the church leaders, you can talk the youth, the students, the women were all here, including the apartheid regime was inside that conference where the Freedom Charter was adopted, because apartheid government had more than 2,000 policemen inside the conference. Therefore, they were representing apartheid, because when the Freedom Charter was adopted, no single policeman raised his hand and objected to the adoption of the Freedom Charter. Therefore, apartheid too believed that the Freedom Charter was the letter that will usher in the freedom in our lifetime. It was the generation of Nelson Mandela that led to the adoption of this Freedom Charter, because they said freedom in our lifetime. It took them 40 years before they attained their freedom. And we followed in the footsteps of Nelson Mandela and the 1944 generation, including Robert Sobukwe, and we said economic freedom in our lifetime, because we learned from the best of the best. So fighters, when you are here, you are simply here to follow in the footsteps of those who came before us. They said freedom in our lifetime. They got freedom in their lifetime in 1994. But that was a political freedom. Political freedom without economic freedom is meaningless and it is incomplete. That's why we want economic freedom to complete what those delegates who came here in 1955 said they will achieve in their lifetime. Comrades, we must make sure that our freedom does not discriminate on the basis of color, race, sex, or belief. We must make sure that our freedom is enjoyed by everybody, black and white, without discrimination. Even countrymen and brothers, they must feel this freedom. When we say freedom was ushered in 1994, we don't want the people of Soweto alone to say we have seen freedom. Even the people in the rural areas, in Umtata, in KwaZulu-Natal, and everywhere else in South Africa, they must say, we have seen freedom. The countrymen and women, they too must say, indeed, that which was fought for since the adoption of the Freedom Charter has been adopted. We said, when we gathered here in 1955, the people shall govern. When we say the people shall govern, we don't only mean voting every 5 years. We mean in the hospital boards, you must be represented. We mean in the school governing boards, you must be represented. In all organs of power where decisions are taken which are going to affect the lives of our people, you must be there and make those decisions on behalf and for our people. Not this thing that our organs of power are hijacked by those who have money and have got proximity to those who are in power. We want our own culture and customs to be respected. We want all races to be respected. We don't want anyone discriminated on the basis of race and color, because we must govern this country. We must share in the country's wealth, because we've got freedom and the people are governing, yet others are rich and others are poor. Then the Freedom Charter will not have been achieved. We said all shall enjoy equal human rights. Voting, all of us, black and white, were voting. But do we enjoy equal human rights? Are you equal to a white man? For as long as you are not equal to a white man, the Freedom Charter has not been adopted. We cannot say that the people of Kliptown don't have water and electricity, and the white man next door has got water and electricity, and claim to be equal. The Charter said equal human rights. You have a right to have water. You have a right to have a job. You have a right to have a house. You have a right to have clean streets. You have a right to have street lights. You have a right to your own bodies. No one must touch you without your will. And therefore, for as long as those rights have not been achieved, the Charter's clause on equal human right has not been achieved. The Freedom Charter said there shall be work and security. All of you here are not working, but we are told we've got freedom. Freedom is jobs. Freedom is work. Freedom is security. If we are not secure and we don't have jobs, then we don't have freedom. We have something that looks like freedom. We've got ample freedom. We don't have real freedom. And therefore, freedom is jobs. We want all of you to work. Whether you have a matric or not, you must have a job. Because for you to clean the streets, you don't require qualification. For you to cut the grass, to clean offices, you don't require the qualification. Let everybody be given a job on the basis of their qualification. If you don't have matric, you will have a job equal to your qualification. With matric, you will have a job that qualifies matric. With a degree, you will have a job that qualifies degree, masters and honors and all manner of things. We want jobs, and we want jobs now, and we want jobs namhlanje, and we make no apology about that. Those waiters and waitresses who are working in the restaurants, those things are not jobs. Those things are passing time. Worse, they don't even give you tips when you work in those restaurants, yet they said you are going to be paid according to tips. A job must have a reliable salary. A job must be a secured job. You must know that when I wake up tomorrow, I will still have this job. Not this job that you are not guaranteed that it will still be there tomorrow when I wake up. We want a job that has got pension fund. We want a job that has got medical aid. We want a job that doesn't pay less than 12,500 for our people, because the minimum wage that was put by government of South Africa is not enough. We want our people to be paid properly. All those who went to school, we said in the Freedom Charter, the doors of learning and culture shall be opened, but the doors remain closed. When you want a space, they want registration fee from you. If you don't have a registration fee, you can't get a space. And after paying registration fee, you must now bring your father and your mother through their IDs and their affidavit to prove that they are not working. Otherwise, you will not have NSFAS. Now, when your father is dead, you must bring a death certificate. What are you doing to dead people when we said they must rest in peace? We still go to their graves and tell them, Papa, they are looking for your death certificate before they can give me a bursary. We are led by fools. Because how about ID number ya papa ya mama, the computer must automatically say that your mother is a domestic worker or is a beneficiary of SASSA and your father has passed away. These fools have issued a certificate that your father died. It is them who gave you the certificate. Then they come back and say, where is your father? Stupids. They are the ones who must account for every citizen of South Africa. They must know where is Julius Malema as we speak now. If they don't know where we are now, then they are irresponsible parents. Because parents must know where their children are. We are all children of this government. But when we die and our children are asking for NSFAS, they are asked a question, where is your father? Oh, your mother is a domestic worker. Go and do affidavit. When you go to do the affidavit, you find that person you went to school being responsible for the affidavits there at the police station. You must now display poverty in front of that dumb cop you used to be better than at school. You must say, yeah, hey, sign here, I'm poor. You must display your dignity in front of people. Everywhere you go, they ask you to display your poverty. We are not proud to be poor, and therefore do not ask us to display that which we are not proud of. Now, the doors of learning are open, and those who are refusing our children to get into these open doors, the student command must kick those doors and drop them and collapse them, because we don't need a door for a learning. We need your matric certificate. You must just carry your certificate like this, enter Vets University or UJ and ask the question, where is my seat? But what do you mean? Well, I've earned my seat through this qualification. This qualification has earned me to be here. I don't need any human being's approval. I have passed, I qualify to be here. So fighters, those who are at the university, we must fight for equal, decolonized, and free education for all. Whether you are rich or poor, we need a decolonized education taught to the children of rich people also, so that the rich children can be patriotic, can also love South Africa. They can know that their money means nothing as long as there is no country called South Africa. But if we say the rich must pay and the poor must not pay, the rich will leave and go and pay outside. We must say to the rich, come here. When they come into our university, we teach them our culture. We teach them our proper history. We teach them the Freedom Charter. We make them have a questioning mind, so that when they go back home, they ask their parents, you've got so much money, what are you doing for the poor? Because I can see that you can afford, but you are not helping the poor. Education must be compulsory. When the EFF says education will be compulsory, they say these people are mad. It means those who came here in 1955, they were mad too, because we learned it from them. They said education must be compulsory. Compulsory means you must be forced to go to school. Riatla. Retlo kry-a o jika mo Kliptown ka nako ya sekolo, ra o nametša vene ya maphodisa, ra o iša sekolong by force. Whether you are rat or rat, under the EFF you are going to go to school by force. And I reckon how graduate o tlo re kwatela ro iša sekolong, especially ka winter utonya, so ro force or hack go to school. Mara how graduate o tla bo re, I want to thank my government for forcing me to go to school. O tlo re leboa, because the EFF is not threatened by educated people. EFF loves them educated. ANC loves them illiterate. That's why it's not giving you free education, but it's giving you 350, because it wants to keep you ignorant. It doesn't love them educated. Arinyake 350. Rinyaka free education, so that we can get better jobs and jobs that are paying so well, so that we can work for ourselves and build proper houses, because we don't want RDP houses. Abe RDP ke by the way, narinyaka overeka, reke agele matlu, aria ratang, aneria droya resale babanyane. I want a house like that. All of us seated here, we've got a house of our dreams, and that house we are going to achieve it, whether they like it or not. Black people under the EFF, they will achieve their dreams, and black people will achieve their dreams of the Freedom Charter. It is the Freedom Charter that said there shall be houses, security and comfort. We used to sing during struggle, we used to march during struggle. SG, there was a song we sang when we were young, Ya Freedom Charter, forward we are marching, there shall be houses, security and comfort, because freedom is coming tomorrow. We knew that there is no freedom without a shelter. We knew that there is no freedom without a roof over your head. There is no freedom without comfort. There is no freedom without security. All of you here, when you come here, you must know that you are secured. Even when you go home, you must know on the way and even at home, you are secured. There is security that is guaranteed by the people's government. But today, we can't say there is security. Women who are here today, we are not sure what's going to happen to them if we finish late and they arrive at home at night. We know that South Africa has declared war against women. These women have not seen any freedom because there will never be freedom without security. But also, there must be a place for rest and leisure. What's about Otsamaya? We go valley. Olebele metsi, ubetheke moya. Abentwela ya uno ubetheke moya. Asimayemo. Ku relaxisha ngqondo. Ka re jobe ka be busy yong. Awuna go jika ka mo ke truck. How jika ka mo ke taxi. How jika ka mo hey, who busy. Now the Freedom Charter says there must be leisure. Le relaxe. Mararta relaxa yuan katlala. How are we going to relax? Har the BS. Ro fitla kaingi. Repalla ki a simple money. Yauya kliniki. Because the clinic is very far from where we stay. We need to achieve what the Freedom Charter says we must achieve. Comrades, we must make sure that there are no fenced locations and there must not be Soweto, there must not be Alexander, we must have the people of Johannesburg. Because these divisions of ghetto fencing was created by the Boers, who said when you are from Soweto, you can't leave Soweto at 6 o'clock and go into Johannesburg. You must go into town at any time you want. You must go into Alexander at any time you want. You must come to Soweto at any time you want without feeling anything. Why? It's a freedom of movement because we are one as South Africans. Comrades, this freedom, those who came here, they said they were going to fight for it and they will make sure that they achieve it in their lifetime. So, after 1994, when they achieved the Freedom Charter, the political freedom as envisaged by the Freedom Charter, they forgot other clauses of the Freedom Charter. Because ba yabona, our Freedom Charter yari, they shall be politicians in Mercedes-Benz and blue lights. It's nowhere in the charter. We never fought to vote. We fought for the land to be returned into the hands of our people. We fought for the wealth to be shared amongst those who work it. Our interpretation of the Freedom Charter is a radical interpretation. When the Freedom Charter says the wealth of the country shall be returned into the hands of the rightful owners, in the mind of the EFF, it means nationalization of the banks, the mines, and all strategic sectors of society, including monopoly industries. It is Mandela, before he stayed in the Minel's house, when he came out of Robben Island, he said nationalization is the policy of the ANC. And after he said that, he went to stay in the house of the Minel family. I thought it was a complex. The deputy president was reminding me that it's not a complex. Mandela actually stayed in the house with the Minel family. They used to pass each other in the morning wearing gowns and having breakfast together. The Minel family is like the Oppenheimer family. It's like the Rupert family. They adopted Mandela. After they adopted Mandela, Mandela said, nationalization will collapse the economy of South Africa. But the Minel family Before they adopted Mandela, they adopted Cyril Ramaphosa here in Soweto. Cyril Ramaphosa was identified during that program. Scouts, when all the scouts in Soweto, identify young talented people. The British came and identified Cyril Ramaphosa when he was young and then handed him over to the Minel family. Mandela did not know Cyril. When Mandela came out of prison, the main man at the door of prison was Cyril Ramaphosa, who said to Mandela, I'm the reception committee, I'm here to receive you, only to realize later that this guy captured Nelson Mandela at the door of prison in the name of the reception committee of Nelson Mandela. Atamali Mandela, Afa Mandela Makua. How can Cyril Ramaphosa be elected the first Secretary General after the unbanning of the ANC when he just joined the ANC the same year or a year before? Cyril Ramaphosa was a police reservist during the 80s and the 70s. And the 70s and the 80s were the most difficult times in the life of a black man. And Ramaphosa was receiving award from Paul Olusegun, a British spy. How do you get such a person, 1991, becoming the Secretary General of the ANC? That's where the ANC was captured. Not this captured of Zondo commission with a big trousers. He doesn't even know how to dress properly. Atebele size is on. Now, the real capture happened way before Zuma. Zuma, Bamu captured Lelian. He was in the negotiations. He was working with them. Tabombeki, Bamu captured Lelian. He was there in the negotiations. The only man who was not captured, the only man who was not captured was Krisani. That's why they killed him. Until today, the only man that was not captured was Krisani. The whole chief of staff of Mkhonto Wesizwe, head of the burning of Mkhonto Wesizwe, when he was in the village in the Eastern Cape, when Mandela said, we are suspending the armed struggle. How can you suspend the armed struggle without talking to the chief of staff of the same armed struggle you are talking about? He heard about it on radio. And then he came back to Johannesburg. And Nelson said to him, it's done. If you are a member of the ANC and you are disciplined, you will know that you must follow the orders. The only woman they never captured was Winnie Mandela, who worked very close with Peter Mokaba. They worked together with Chris. They worked together with Bantu Olomisa. This Bantu Olomisa you see, he used to be very radical when he was young. He's getting old now. And I will understand that. Uluza that steam senders swearing le Winnie, le Chrissy, le Tony Ngeni. Those are some of the people who were called the radicals. All of them. Tony Ngeni, they said he stole money from Mercedes-Benz. A matter that belonged to Parliament was taken to prison. Winnie Mandela, they said all manner of things and destroyed him. Krisani, they killed him. Peter Mokaba, they said he was a spy. Till today, they never released his spy number. Everybody who challenged them, they destroyed him. That's what they did with us. When we were in the Youth League and said, let's follow what the Freedom Charter says. Let's not follow what Thabo Mbeki says. Let's not follow what Zuma says. Let's not follow what Ramaphosa says. Let's follow what the people died for. And that which the people died for is in the Freedom Charter. They said, you sound like them. You too, the gate is open. Fusek. We were expelled by this one with a big nose. This Ramaphosa. These ones must go. Why were we expelled by Ramaphosa? Ramaphosa has carried the agenda of the white man from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and even in the 2000s till to date. Ramaphosa is still continuing with the agenda of a white man against a black man. Ramaphosa is an infiltration in the liberation movement. Ramaphosa is one man that we must all pin our eyes on and say this one must be removed before the end of this year because he has destroyed South Africa. Hailur urata Ramaphosa mo Kliptown. How kitati kar hauna metsi, hauna mabone, hauna ntlu, monang mo, wato abata today. You are not going to sleep. Maratonde to Ramaphosa, utaba shwakisrame. Hey Ramaphosa, how sebetsi? You've got the qualifications for so many years. You are still not working. Kaufela, the black business of South Africa, the tender dudes just South Africa kaufela. If Lily heart fall, Ramaphosa, you need to take a stand now. There is no single black man who had a deal at Eskom, businessman, who still has got a deal at Eskom. There is no single businessman who had a deal at Denel, who had a deal at SAA, who still has got a deal today. All of those people were removed. The so-called BEE was single-handedly destroyed by Ramaphosa in the interest of white capital. Why are we scared of these people who are destroying every single black person who's trying to raise his head? They destroy. Ramaphosa. How nantwa kardia yona Ramaphosa. Hanya ka re tshwara ha re tshware. Hanya ka rumela SARS ha rumele. He must ask his friend Zuma. That strategy did not work before. It will not work today. There is no government that is going to intimidate us. We want our government back, and we want it in the hands of black people. We want the people's government. We don't want the Minel government. We don't want Oppenheimer government. We don't want Rupert's government. We want a government as envisaged in Kliptown in 1955. Without that, then there is no proper government. Comrades, Freedom Charter ki EFF. How bona EFF o tsebe ba ke bona ba tshwereng Freedom Charter. They are the ones who are carrying the hopes of 1955. Eba na re tshwere boima. South Africa e re tshwere e re ke rena. Ha motho le khoa le mmontsha nonsense ko mmereko or go bitsa EFF. Ha metsi a sa tswe mo Soweto ba re EFF e go kae? Ha Eskom e tlhopha batho ba Soweto ba re EFF e kae le maphodisa a rata gore thunya ka di-rubber bullet ha ba sa thole increase le di-bonus ba re where is the EFF bana ba sekolo he ba matjha ba batla EFF student command because the EFF student command is the only student organization that never sided with the management, has always been on the side of the poor students and black students in particular. So re khancha ka batho ba EFF student command ha ba tsamaye ba iya tjotjo ha o le EFF o iya tjotjo o tsebo re tlo bolaya ka re tjotjo mo EFF ke poison how ka ija o tla chuluwa for the rest of your life.